Rug tufters all over the world, hold on to your yarn. This one is gonna be a doozy. Let's get started. Hello everyone and welcome to Crafting with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. As you can see, I'm in a different room in my house, and today I am trying out the Clawlab Tufting Gun Kit. I am going to do my very best to walk you through this process. Now, this tutorial is really all about how to get started and how to try it out. I will share the additional materials that we purchased before even getting started with this. And I will suggest that you look at the Clawlab YouTube channel to see how to properly set up the screen and the kit. Okay, so if you do find this helpful, please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's look at the materials and then we'll dive right in. I'm going to make a very small tufted rug because this is definitely a new experience for me and I don't want to make it any more confusing for you than it has to be. So let's look at the materials and dive right in. Okay, so the materials that came in the kit include the tufting frame. It also comes with this material that you use to secure the yarn. It comes with 9 different colors of yarn. I took one out, the red one I took out because I'm going to use that one. It also came with the tufting gun like this, and it came with the materials to thread the yarn through the gun. Okay, so that is everything. Oh, it came with a backing that you attach the rug to once you're finished making it. What it doesn't come with that I purchased separately is glue to adhere this material to the backing. And it also, what else? There was something else that I needed to purchase separately, but I'll make sure to share everything that I purchased below the video. So here are some of the other things that I ordered to go along with my kit because it didn't come with it. I ordered an additional piece of cloth. This one is 80 by 80. I also ordered another one that came with the cloth and the backing, and it also came with these brushes and these scrapers. And then I ordered this glue. This is called carpet adhesive because it didn't come with any adhesive, and you're going to need it in order to glue the rug to the backing. So these are the things I ordered. I will make sure they are linked below the video. In addition to that, I also went to Michael's and I purchased some more yarn. And I'll leave the content creator who recommended this yarn. I'm not even sure if it's the right one, but for the next project, I'm sure I'll be using that yarn because we kind of ran out. Let me show you what that looks like. So I went to Michael's and I got this one, Loops and Threads. This is acrylic yarn. It was on sale at Michael's, so I'm in the United States. I also got this color. I also got, this is the one he recommended, Red Heart. That was the brand. This was $2.87, and this is 364 yards of yarn. So we got red. We also got this blue one, white, got black, and that's it for now. So hopefully it's still on sale, at least for the rest of this week, because I'm sure we'll need more as we are learning. And when I say we, I'm talking about my son, because my son is very excited about trying tufting, like super excited. So I didn't use any of this for my project, but just wanted you to see other things that I purchased or other things that I plan to use in the future. All right, so now let's get into it. So my first thought was to just print out a butterfly and tape it to the back of the screen so that I could just trace the butterfly and do my tufting from there. So here I am using my Expo. I have the image just taped out. This is just an SVG that I downloaded from the Creative Fabrica website. And here I am just doing my very best to trace the image so that I could see it good enough to trace it. And honestly, this was a very, very, very lofty idea. I learned that very quickly because I still had not even plugged in the tufting gun to try it out. Now I have the tufting gun plugged in, and I'm going to remove the stickers that are there, and I'm going to start to thread the needle, thread the yarn into the tufting gun. And don't worry that this part is sped up. I'll definitely show you the process of threading. But this was before my husband adjusted the regulator, so it was still too much space right there anyway. So I'm using the threading apparatus, going through the 2 holes at the top. I'm going to go through that regulator and then down into the eye of the tufting gun and just bring the thread. I keep calling it thread. It's a habit. It's yarn. Bring the yarn through, and now I will attempt to practice on the side of the fabric. Okay, so the blue light is indicating that I have the gun slowed down, the speed of it, and the more green it is, the faster it is. With the thread, I did unwind it a lot because it works best if there's a lot of give on the thread. So right here, these are my practice lines before I actually attempt the butterfly. And you can see the fabric is not tight, and I'm also not even doing it right at this point. Right here, I'm going up in an upward motion, and you can see how much vibration there is on the fabric. That lets you know that something is not right, and I just kept trying. So wherever you see the line and it looks like see, now that's a big mistake right there. Wherever you see the lines and the yarn is all the way through, now that is a good line. Let me slow it down so you can see that one. Okay, here's a closer look. So the line, the like 6th line to the left is kind of good. There should not be any of that thread sticking out. Wherever you see is fully in there, then those are good lines. What I didn't know yet was that you have to follow the direction that you plan to go in. So when I was trying to go in a downward motion, I was just cutting the fabric. It wasn't doing anything. Right now I'm unwinding the yarn, and I'm going to continue practicing until I have some good lines, or until I think the lines are good enough. But you can even see on the right, my fabric is not even locked into the frame, even though I did get a good line right there. I continued this process a lot of times until I felt like I was confident and ready to move on to the butterfly. Okay, so this is a view from the other side of the frame, and to me it was looking pretty good, and it made me feel so confident to try the butterfly. So there's my butterfly. You see it's just taped down. I'm going to remove it from the back and try to start it. Okay, so once again, I have zero knowledge of what I'm doing, and this is me attempting to do the butterfly the same way I did when I did the lines that were good. And I still did not know. Look at this. This is a recipe for a disaster. I did not know that I needed to face the gun in the direction that I intended to go. So I was just going straight, when really, when I wanted to move the gun to the right or make the thread go into the butterfly to the right, I needed to face the gun to the right. And I just messed this all up. I spent a good deal of time just messing this butterfly up. It's terrible. So I wasted a lot of fabric, and yeah. So we'll revisit this thought when I give you my thoughts at the end of the video. So this is a front and back view of day 1. And yeah, I mean, so Yeah. But I'm not a quitter. So, I mean, I stopped when I needed to stop and I came back to it when I needed to come back to it. But Clawlab 1, Delonda 0. Here's the other side. It is definitely a learning curve. Definitely a learning curve. Day 2, I was determined to just keep practicing before switching out the fabric. I just continued. I turned on some music. I sat down and I just continued to practice. I wanted to see how to make the lines, how to get the thread through the fabric the right way. I had some wins and some losses, but if we are really counting, we are still at Clawlab 1, Delonda 0. After a full day of practice, I was ready. So I had my husband to switch out the fabric, and I decided that I wasn't going to do that butterfly. After all, I wanted to just try to do a simple flower, and really this is the best I can do in terms of drawing. So let's get into this flower. I'm going to do my very, very best. It's still not going to be perfect, but I am going to finish this project proud of myself. So as you can see, the fabric is really, really tight. It's locked into the frame. I am attempting, look at that. Look at me curving. I had a good line right there. I felt really good about it. And I felt like it was time to just get started with the flower. And I don't know, for some of this, I did okay. I was really proud of that first curve. And I thought maybe I should just curve all of them. I actually started out really strong right here. But by the end, I actually ran out of this color. So for this part of the flower, you'll see 2 different colors of yarn, but don't worry about that. Just be proud of me that I got this far and I was making really good progress. So I continue to fill in each of the pieces of the flower and, stopping along the way. Once again, make sure you have a lot of give. Look at that. A lot of give with the yarn. Make sure it's unwound and it's flowing freely. Maybe try just holding it so you can feel it going through your fingers. I feel like I did a really good job on this color, and then I started to go too fast and then kind of got ahead of myself and got tangled up. But I continued to fill in the colors until they were all filled up. And then I wanted to see what it was looking like from the other side. I could see where I needed to fill in by looking at the other side. So my orange needed to be filled in, and then I needed some more, but I ran out of that color, so I started filling it in with tan. The time I got to the red, I really felt confident, like I knew what I was doing. Maybe it's because red is my favorite color. Even though it looks really, really rough on the back of this or the front, depending on how you look at it, I still feel like I was doing a good job. So some of those lines are really good and the others not so much. One thing I will do is clap for myself. I was so excited about this. I was so excited because I felt like I was done. I just needed to fill in a few of the spots and then I would be finished. Okay, now I'm finished. I'm going to remove the fabric from the frame and bring it over to the table so I can clean it up a little bit and add the glue. All right. Okay, so this is the back of my rug. I know it's not supposed to look like this. It's supposed to look more like the edge of that yellow, but it's gonna be glued to the backing anyway, and I'm still proud of it. I don't care what anybody says. So I purchased this, and it says on the lid that you're supposed to use a screwdriver to pop the lid. So you just wedge it in between the bucket and the lid and just go all the way around until it's open. And so I'm going to do that, and then I'll use one of the brushes that came with this separate kit that I purchased, and I will apply the adhesive to the back. I'm just going to apply a generous amount. I know this is definitely going to make Some people cringe, and I apologize in advance. I am 100% certain that I applied too much, but you just don't do yours like this, okay? Okay. You are gluing your rug to the backing, make sure you are gluing to the softer side, the part that doesn't have any of the rubber or the adhesive little stoppers on it, and then cut around it. That's all I'm doing right here, is just cutting it to fit the actual rug. And then I'm even going to get a little bit closer and cut it like scallops, and then I'll give this time to dry. Now with the adhesive on the back, while it's drying, I'll start to just clean up the top and get rid of the loose yarn that I can still pull away. And then I'll move this to the side and I'll start to work on other projects that I have to complete. All right, here are my tips. Number one, use the whole cloth. And this is just a matter of opinion. And this is what, I'm sharing what I think will help you. Use the cloth that comes with the kit for practice. I suggest using that whole, I had to do that. I had to use the whole thing for practice until I was comfortable enough with using the gun, the tufting gun, well enough to actually get through a project. You might not have to do that, but definitely spend some time with making sure you know how to use the tufting gun before deciding on your first project. Number two, I suggest recording yourself as you are using the tufting gun so you can make sure that your wrist and the gun is not angled. One thing I noticed about myself is that when I was moving up with the gun, I would make my wrist go up, and I really wasn't supposed to do that. The gun has to stay perpendicular into the cloth. So, record yourself and you'll be able to see like when you're doing that, tilting your wrist or tilting the gun. Number three, make sure that the fabric is super tight. It should not be loose at all. I think that word is called taut, but you can call it taut, tight, whatever. You want to make sure that it is very tight on the frame. Number four, insert the needle all the way into the fabric before you press the trigger on the tufting gun. Number five, I don't recommend using the maximum speed. On the back of the gun, you adjust the speed. You turn it to the left to lower the speed. You turn it to the right to increase the speed. The more you turn it to the right, the more green you'll see on the lighted indicator. Number six, keep a close eye on the threading apparatus. It does come with 3 of those tools, and you'll need those to thread the yarn into the tufting gun. And so I kept losing them because they're also very thin. It's easy to misplace them. Number 7, move the regulator forward if possible to help keep the thread from falling apart. Let me show you what I mean by that. So this piece right here is called the regulator. Ideally, you're supposed to be able to unscrew this screw so you can move the regulator forward, and that will control how much how much yarn is being pulled through here, or how the thickness of the yarn. And my screw was stripped, so my husband did his best to try to get it, pull it forward. He was able to still pull it forward a little bit, but I suggest, unscrewing this and then pulling yours forward so the hole where the yarn goes in is not so big, and that will prevent the yarn from continuing to fall through that hole. Number 8, get into a position, either sitting or standing, that will allow you to have the most control of the tufting gun. So remember, I said you have to keep it perpendicular. So one thing I kept running into is that I would, do my wrist like this when I should not have done that. When I want to go up, I still need to keep the gun perpendicular and move up and not move my wrist up. And I continue to do that. So make sure you are in a position, either sitting or standing, that's going to give you the most control. And then number 9, I suggest watching other rug tufting videos. Like, there are professional people who do this. There are people who do rug tufting for a living. I did get some tips and tricks from watching them. And like I said, one of the guys who I watched, he was the one who suggested the thread to get, the one that he said was best for this project. And then number 10, I don't suggest trying anything intricate for your first project. So you see, I just tried a little flower, and I think I did okay. I'm actually quite proud of my flower. I don't plan to use it as an actual rug for the floor, but maybe if for wall art or something like that, or I'll keep it somewhere, you know, off the floor. But I'm very proud of it. So let me give you my rating, and we will get ready to land this plane. Okay, so first let me say that this is not a sponsored video. Clawlab did send me this tufting gun kit to try it out, but my opinion that I'm getting ready to share with you is my own, and it will always be my own. On a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being the lowest and 10 being the ultimate best, I would rate this a 9 out of 10, and let me tell you why. I think that it's fairly easy to use, you know, in terms of not needing a lot of extra gadgets and components and things like that. When I looked at some of the other rug tufting videos, I was very overwhelmed, feeling like, oh, I need a projector. Oh, I need a razor. Oh, I need all these things. I didn't feel like I needed that. I do feel like this was sufficient to get the job done. And as far as trimming the rug, I feel like I can trim it down with scissors for now because I'm not a rug tufting professional. Also, I do like the fact that it came with the frame and the instructions were fairly simple. I think, you know, it was easy enough for my son and my husband to set it up. I did get a little bit confused when it was time to tighten the fabric, so I asked my husband and my son to help me with that when I was ready to use the fabric. I think the price point is fair. It's a little bit over for the whole kit, including the fabric, the backing, the gun, and the yarn that it comes with is a little bit over $400. I do think that's reasonable. I don't know in comparison to other tufting gun kits or materials, but that also includes the frame and everything to set up the frame. Let me tell you what I wish, or what would have made this a 10 for me. Number 1, I feel like it should have come with some adhesive, because if this is really intended to be a rug and I have the backing and I have the fabric, well, logically I would need the adhesive to apply to adhere the rug to the backing. So right off the bat, right out the gate, I had to purchase adhesive. Now, I don't know if I purchased the right adhesive or I used too much, or I don't know, but I really feel like it should have come with adhesive and a suggestion for which type of adhesive works the best. I really feel like that should have been included. Also, I feel like it should have come with a little more fabric, like maybe a piece that's like, this is your starter fabric, this is your tester piece, the piece that you start when you test, and maybe even a simple design or suggestions for a simple design for someone who's just getting started with rug tufting with no experience at all, because I have 0 experience with rug tufting. I feel like those are the basic things that it should have come with. Like, even if it was just a rectangle with some lines, like trace these lines, this is how you get started. I feel like that would have been a fantastic addition to this kit. And for me, that would have made this a 10 out of 10. Anything else? There isn't anything else. I do feel like it came with a sufficient amount of yarn. It didn't say what kind of yarn came with this, so I'm not sure if I bought the right kind, because the yarn that I purchased from Michaels is acrylic. I'm not sure if this is also acrylic that came in the kit. I think that's about it. Please leave me any questions you have for me down in the comments, and let me know if you have suggestions for my next rug tufting adventure. This is definitely a new craft for me. This is not something I've ever tried, or it's not even something that I saw on my bingo card for 2025 or 2026. But hopefully you did find this helpful. If you did, please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching.